Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Broadway Jets YouTube channel. You'll know me from Twitter as NYJ Mike. I'm joined as always by the master of receipts, NYJ Matt. And Matt, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all of our faithful listeners. 99.99% are men aged 18 to 28. The Jets are winding out the season. They lost last week to the Browns. They play the Patriots coming up. We got some Aaron Rodgers versus Jimmy Kimmel stuff in the news. A lot to talk about, Matt.
A lot going on. And hey, if you are here, go ahead and hit subscribe. I think 10% of our viewers are subscribed. And if you
That's pretty
do
good.
listen and you watch all of our videos, DM us on Twitter. We're trying to make a Discord. But at the end of the day, Mike, Jets lose again. And we want to we'll focus more on the New England game coming up. But the Aaron Rodgers, Jimmy Kimmel debate, if you haven't seen, which I'm sure everyone listening has, there's a clip from March where Jimmy Kimmel says Rodgers has CTE and is a conspiracy guy for the Epstein list. And then Rodgers comes back on McAfee and brings up the fact that, hey, Jimmy doesn't want that list to come out. He might be on it. Some Jet fans are a little frustrated that the Jets are in the news because of this. Others think it's hilarious. Like, personally, I don't care that Rodgers did it. I have additional thoughts on it, but Mike, initial reaction to the Kimmel Rodgers debacle that happened yesterday.
One of those news cycles where I was a little bit late. I was like an hour late. And then I come back and it's just like, what the fuck is going on? Dude, it's hilarious. First of all, Jimmy Kimmel is a comedian who professionally every single day just goes out and just talks shit about people. It's his job. And then someone talks shit about him. But meanwhile, it wasn't completely unprovoked. If Rodgers came out of nowhere and was like, I think Jimmy Kimmel's a pedophile, go check his basement. Like, fine. But there was previous interactions. Then Jimmy Kimmel, a professional comedian, is like, I'm going to sue you. Like, go fuck yourself, dude. And I hope he's on the list. I hope no one was harmed. No, we don't hope he's on the list. We don't hope he's on the list.
It's just interesting because if he came out in the comedy, he does a cold open in March, right? And he says, look, if you're on that list, you're the worst person on the planet. And instead goes with the route of Rodgers has CTE for talking about the list. That's where Rodgers comes back and says, all right. And he makes the comment. He didn't say he's on it. He said Kimmel would be not thrilled if it was released. So either him, his friends on it. So a lot of people think Rodgers is an asshole. I think Rodgers has said things in the past over the top. And if you don't love Rodgers as a person, perfectly fine. Don't
Dude,
care about it.
he is an abrasive guy and he ruffles people's feathers. But honestly, in my experience having him in New York, it seems like everything that he said, someone else said something first, and then he responds, like the vaccine stuff. And I know he was outspoken against the vaccine, but in that era of time, everyone's like, if you don't get the vaccine, you're a scumbag, or you're gonna get fired from your job. Like I was told I would get fired from my job, not fired, but like it was like you just have to get it. And he's like, I don't want to put this stuff in my body. And people are like, you're a psychopath. And then it turns out he's probably right. And then he comes out and he talks some shit. Like it is what it is. It's not that big of a deal. The Epstein stuff I get is more serious. You're talking about pedophilia, which is a major, humongous issue in the world. But he started it. Jimmy Kimmel started it. Aaron Rodgers finished it. Not don't fuck with my quarterback. Jets Twitter just has to now defend. We're on the right side here.
Look, if your take is Rodgers, this is a serious topic, stay away from it. I completely understand it. It's almost like a no-win. If you try to defend Rodgers too hard, they're like, all right, you got it. This isn't the one to do it. And if you say like, oh, team Jimmy Kimmel, you're probably like, all right, why are you taking the side of a potential person who knows people on a list? It's all weird. It's all not great, but we want to talk about more Jets related stuff, and you can't not bring up what happened yesterday.
Dude, your tweets were so funny.
Again, it's satire. So Jimmy Kimmel does satire. You know, McAfee had to walk it back today on the show, but I found that one tweet from 2011 where he's like, we're evacuating the island, and it had 0 replies and 0 quote tweets when I found it. And then I quote tweeted it. I was like, you're evacuating what? And then today it has like 900 quote tweets and like 1,000 replies. So
good.
That
the other one, you photoshopped a picture of Jimmy Kimmel with Epstein like on a plane.
Yeah, some of them goes like, this isn't funny about the quote tweet. And I'm like, I just quote tweeted a tweet that's out there. Like, if you want to apply whatever logic you want to apply to it, do it. But alas, I think more stuff will come from it. They'll probably ask another interview with Rodgers. Like, one of the beat writers will ask something ridiculous, and he'll have a canned answer. But anything else on it, Mike? I feel like it is a serious topic.
No, look, it is what it is. It is what it is. I thought it was hilarious. My main takeaway was that Jimmy Kimmel, and everybody shits on Rodgers. Everybody shits on him. Rodgers says something back. I'm going to sue you. Go fuck yourself, dude. I thought it was a pussy move. I did. Part of my French, whatever. But that was my takeaway. I get it. I understand. Serious issue.
I do get Kimmel going back. I mean, if Rodgers said that about
it was not unprovoked. That's my issue.
I know.
If Rodgers out of nowhere, like he's on the McAfee show and he's like, you know what, that Jimmy Kimmel, probably a pedophile. We're like, what is this guy talking about? He's being insane. He said it first. He said he has CTE.
Yeah, I think it's the context of it happening.
He's demented, Matt. He's demented in the head.
I know it was a weird. You know, you could take Rodgers' side, Kimmel's side. I took the side of I'm just going to make lighthearted jokes against Jimmy Kimmel and defend my quarterback. And someone's like, you're just defending him because he's your quarterback. Yeah. I wouldn't tweet it if he was in the Packers. Like
100% not. That would be not have to do with this.
Yeah, but new year for the Jets. New year moving forward. My New Year's resolution for the Jets is do the things that you say you're going to do. How many times are they have no conviction on what their plan is? You need a wide receiver 2. You don't get one. You need a veteran quarterback. Your quarterback goes down in 4 plays. You don't get one. Like, go into the offseason with a plan, a clear plan, and execute on it. I'm tired of this team and this organization not going all in when they need to. And last offseason they didn't, and now you have to. Or you're going to do a full reset in 2025. So try to make the playoffs next year and have some conviction.
Yeah, they have one more chance with this regime and nucleus to really do it. And to your point, I think they had a plan. The problem is they never had any backup plan for like 90% of the things that they did, which is insane. One of them being you go out and get a veteran quarterback. We've talked about this before. They said, we're moving on from Zach Wilson. We're getting a veteran quarterback. Try to get Carr, try to get Rodgers. You get Rodgers. That's awesome. That's the one thing they actually did. But then Rodgers gets hurt, and you don't have a veteran quarterback, so you got to go get one. Didn't do it. Wide receiver, Odell Beckham. Overpaid by the Ravens. Don't give him $18 million a year. Stupid. Smart. But then you don't get another guy. And then Corey Davis retires, and you're fucked. Number 3, they try to get Orlando Brown, the tackle. You don't get him. You don't get any other tackle. You don't draft the tackle. Very strange. So I agree with you, Matt. That's a great New Year's resolution for our Jets. You know, what do I want? It's just interesting, man. I think I want to think of a good resolution, but everything is in place. Everything's in front of us. The Jets were a top, 8 team in the preseason Super Bowl rankings. You come out with that energy week 1. Felt like it was going to be at the time. Defense was really good. It's all there. The defense is back. You need a couple positions. Like, to your point, just do it. You need 3 offensive linemen. You can't get 3 offensive linemen. It's impossible. No, just do it. So, and how about this, Matt? New Year's resolution, fix the field. Get some grass.
I saw an argument. It's like, there's so many things that happen there, concerts, the Giants play there. Yeah, that happens at every stadium ever, and they figure it out. And I think they even tried to get new turf this year. That was a huge takeaway after a ton of injuries happened in 2021, 2022.
Even 2020, man. I remember the one that comes to mind is Nick Bosa and
the COVID year. And week 2, you're right. Bosa goes down. That was Becton's probably best game as a pro. You look back at like the All-22 and Baldinger going through that game was awesome. But they tried new turf and it doesn't work. So yeah, go get grass. And it's weird. I feel like Jet players never get hurt at home outside of Rodgers. Like, it's weird. I always feel like it's the opposing players coming to MetLife. They get hurt because of a turf injury. Our injuries happen a lot on the road, famously Denver's
a shithole.
I loved your tweet, by the way, that it's more safe to be a kamikaze pilot than play right guard for the New York Jets. Like I was dying.
Dude,
Oh my
speaking of
god.
right guard,
I thought
the
you were gonna
Jets
say speaking of
released.
kamikaze pilots.
No, I did just watch that new World War II doco on Netflix. Whew, it is elite.
I'll watch it.
Must watch. Must watch. But the right guard, the Jets just released Roger Saffold, and the Browns signed him. And I'm very curious to see if he ever plays. Just as an interesting note, because remember it was the trade deadline. The Jets signed Saffold, and they're still in the hunt for everything. And then you lost a million right guards. Everyone got hurt. Schweitzer got hurt. McGovern, what's his face? Xavier Newman. Then you brought that Hanson guy. Then he got hurt. So then they had like Billy Turner playing right guard. What would have had to happen for Roger Saffold to play a snap?
I think, and I could be wrong, and I want to see him play a snap of the Browns and see the what if he goes out there and has like an 80 PFF grade. You're like, what the fuck have you been doing? But it's like I bought my fiance a Christmas present, and I bought her like a huge hoodie that has like a big pouch for the little shih tzu to go in. It's like a cute gift for like $25. We opened it and it was like the worst thing ever. Like it was horrible, and it wasn't what was advertised. So maybe they're going to look at Saffold and say, you know what? Maybe he can be a plug-in right guard if everyone gets hurt. And then they have him in the practice field, and he's like, fuck, this guy's old and he can't move, and it's not what we expected. So we're gonna ship him back and move on. So maybe that would be the argument.
I'm not gonna kill the Jets for that one because it has to be that. I am surprised that he immediately got signed. And it just was like it really had to have been horrible because I don't even hear of half of these guys. First, we didn't know who Xavier Newman was. He saved the Giants game, just busting his ass down the field. And
yeah, and he had the bad
like
snap.
10 seconds left. And then what's the other guy, Jake Hansen? It's like, yeah. So
who's the what's his name? There was a guy that was playing defense the past 3 weeks that I was like, who the hell is that? I think he's 97. He got hurt for one game and came back.
Oh, it's the defensive tackle, Holmes or whatever.
Jalen Holmes, yes.
Immediately. Yeah.
There's just so many guys that I'm like, it's so weird because in 2018, I knew the 53-man roster. I knew it by heart. Every position, I'd have people like test me and I'd get it right every time. I don't know who like 8 guys are that are elevated from the practice squad and play on this team.
You know why, Matt, also is in 2018, we probably rewatched at least every Sam Darnold throw like 55 times. Because there was that one video. I remember someone made a video, and it was literally like every single one of like Darnold's throws of the year. It's like a 270 throws. We're like, this is amazing. This, like, we never loved Zach Wilson that much, where like if Rodgers plays this year, I'm watching the highlights of all these games 1,000 times. There are a lot of Zach Wilson games. Like we always talk about the Saints game in 2021. We're like, I don't know fucking anything that happened. We were there.
Yeah. You fell asleep.
I fell asleep during the game. That was tough.
You had a good pregame though. You had way too many fireball shots before that game. But
yeah, the Jets are like 4-10 playing against the Saints in December.
You bring up something that probably warrants its own video, but I've been thinking about it a lot. Now, one, that Darnold highlight video, I don't know what the first song was, but the second cut is Going Bad by Meek Mill and Drake. And it is elite video. I watched it 500 times. But what I've been thinking about a lot. What do you have?
You remember like Jermaine Kearse on the sideline of the Bears game? They were like individual any throw.
So I've been thinking about this a lot. Jet fandom throughout the years. 2008 is my first core memory. Like I remember 2004, the Doug Bryan miskicked. I remember. I remember where I was. And then I was, 2008, I remember being like, when they were beating the Dolphins week 1, I'm like, I'm a Jet fan. I'm like 11 years old. I'm like, this is my team. I've watched all the previous games, but now like I care about them winning. I understand that you can't just take a quarterback every year, build the like you start learning more when you're 10, 11, 12. And 2015 is like a core year. Obviously, we were diehards. We've always been diehards, but for some reason, 2018 to 2020, even throwing 2021, I remember before games, Mike, I'd be anxious. I'd be nervous. I would feel like sick in my stomach, nervous that they weren't going to win. And in 2022, and this year, I'm like, yeah, I'm whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and I'm going to root crazy hard for them to win. I'm going to feel bad when they lose, but a little bit of that anxiety went away, and it's kind of scaring me if we're being honest.
It's the fire, Matt. It's like, but it's okay because we have an undying, unconditional love for the Jets, so we'll be all right.
You know what I mean,
But
though, right? Do you
look,
know?
the problem is too we're getting a little bit older. We have like real responsibilities in life, and then it's like I'm gonna I can't. I'm gonna be like I'm gonna do something bad if the Jets lose. Like it is what like we can't control it. And the other problem is too is we love football history, so we've kind of seen everything that the Jets have done in their history, and you just know there's only two outcomes. Well, I guess there's three in each game, but there's really only two outcomes. You know, you're gonna win or you're gonna lose. It is what it is. We're just kind of like getting a little more mature, but it's hard. It hurts.
But you have you felt the same that I like? You felt that feeling though, right? Like you know
No,
what I'm talking.
I know you mean. I know you mean, and it's tough. The good
Week
thing
one
is
was there though. Week one, I had that anxiety of like
exactly.
everything must go right as long as Rodgers doesn't get hurt, it's going to be okay. And then my world,
You know what
it
it's
is
like, Matt? I
it's a
have a good
top five
analogy.
thing. It's a top five worst thing that ever happened to me.
I have a good analogy, and it's going to make you feel better. When 2018 to 2020 stretch that you're talking about, Sam Darnold was like love of our life girlfriend. Like
Okay.
just couldn't get enough. Whole time honeymoon phase, feeling great. You know, that was our girl. Like Sam Darnold was our girl. And he's starting Sunday, by the way. I'll be watching that. 2020 then like I don't know how the relationship ends.
I thought you were gonna say like
This
dies.
like dies. That's what I'm thinking. Sam Darnold is gone. Our sweetheart is gone. Now we have Zach Wilson, who, you know, like we met her at the bar. We kind of have some stuff in common, but it's a little bit edgy. Like you fight right from the beginning, not in the right headspace. Probably like jumped into the relationship too early. It just wasn't right. And before Sam, you had like a 35-year-old girl. Who, that's not even like for us. It's a little bit older, and
Josh
that was Josh
McCown.
McCown.
Yeah.
But listen, so now Zach, you know, and you're feeling like unenamored with things, and like it's going on for a little bit too long. You're not sure how to end it. You kind of broke up, and then like she comes back, and then like you had a real big fight, and then she comes back again, and now it's like after this season, she's probably going to be gone. Maybe like, and then you have now you found Rogers. Rogers is our girl again.
And then they die immediately.
No,
That's what happened though. You know the
oh,
Rodgers.
this year, yeah, we found a girl.
This analogy, we're getting to the right. It's basically you met a new girl and they immediately got a year job in Europe, and you just have to be okay without it.
She got sent to Europe. Yeah.
Okay, I thought. All right, yeah.
We're the D word, but we don't need that. It's sad. Right, so, it's sad, but Matt, it's going to be reinvigorated. We're going to feel great. We just got to win some games, you know.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like the South Park episode where I keep using analogies. We're going off the rails here, but have you ever seen the South Park episode? It's the Cartman Asperger's one, but Stan hears everything he liked before because he turned 10 sounds like shit. It's like the music he would listen to, it just sounds horrific, and everyone's like, "This is the greatest thing ever." He's like, "I hate everything I used to like. It makes me sad. I used to get excited about," and that's. I feel like I'm walking through the Jets world right now. I'm like, where's everyone probably feels that way, so it's fine.
The good thing too about sports, Matt, especially with what we're doing and like being involved in the Twitter and talking to people and just being super involved, is we want to have a team that we love and will die to defend. Yeah. Like that's all we want. I want to blindly defend the Jets against every team in the league. I just want to feel like the Jets are great or they're the best, or like people are like they're going to suck, and I'm like, no, they're not. And I want to truly physically believe it and then spew my nonsense out into the world. That's what I want. And it's going to happen.
Yeah, and that
was what it was with Sam.
That part though is why I feel most bad for Jet fans. I really don't love the woe is me. Why can't it be like that? I see on Twitter all the time. Why was I a Jet fan? I feel most bad about you having to go hang out with your buddies at the bar and they're like, the Jets fucking suck. Like, and then you have to, like, that's what I feel bad for fans to have
Right,
to
I
go to
either-
the dinner table. Your annoying uncle. That's the problem.
Oh, and they don't really care. And then you either have to get into an actual argument, which doesn't have to be like what's the word? It doesn't have to be combative. You just have to either explain everything the way that you're seeing it, which they're not going to care about either, or you have to be like, haha, yeah, man. And then fuck that. I will
Yep.
spend hours, but I don't want to spend hours defending Zach Wilson. That's the point. I want to do it with Rodgers or I want to do it with Sam Darnold. And like that's just it depends who's on your team. And hopefully also to your point about the New Year's resolution, hopefully the Jets do kind of what we think is the right move, what the consensus is, like people get excited about it, and then if it works out, it works out. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's the exciting thing about sports. Similarly, Matt, look at the Dalvin Cook. We wanted Dalvin Cook. It didn't work out. Would it have been different if Rodgers is here? Yes. Would he have been explosive? I don't know. He didn't look explosive. But, there's just going to be more first downs, more opportunities, blah, blah, blah. So
there's like 5 people that actually didn't want Dalvin Cook. Like Nanny didn't want him. Like Nash didn't want him. Like those people I respect because they're like, I don't want him. Here's why. Everyone else wanted him. Like 90% clip of Jet fans wanted him. And now they're like, Douglas is a fucking idiot. Like, I'm not going to kill Douglas. Is it a bad signing by him? Yeah, but I also wanted it. So it's...
Yeah. And the reason why also it was frustrating because you're like, oh, we have these other needs that we're not addressing. Again, the cap is extremely confusing and very unclear from time to time, like where the Jets are in their cap. So it was the Jets signed Cook 1 year, $5.8 million guaranteed when in the training camp. Now, how much money do they have at that time? It seemed like they had more money than that because of the pay cut Rodgers took. And like they didn't sign Odell, they didn't sign Orlando Brown. Corey Davis retired. Like, where is all this money? So if the Jets were like, we can either sign Dalvin Cook or a backup quarterback, and we signed Dalvin Cook, that would literally ruin the season. I don't think that's what happened. I don't.
Yeah.
And that is annoying. That's why Joe Douglas is an asshole, not because he signed Dalvin Cook, which we wanted.
Yep. I owe you, by the way, a new potential rookie. I've been texting Mike every day. This is the plan. A new offensive lineman or wide receiver at day 3. And we'll talk about it on the podcast or on the YouTube channel. If you are here, if you made this far, don't forget, DM us on Twitter. We'll add you to the Discord if you're a diehard fan. If you're just a casual viewer, more than welcome. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Mike, before we wrap up, anything else you want to get to?
Well, yeah, we got to get we'll do a mock draft soon. We should get Connor Rogers on here. We're gonna try to get more guests. I'm gonna be more active. I'm gonna get us some guests. I'll be our producer in turn. I tried to get Damon Harrison yesterday, but he didn't reply, even though he replied to my other tweet.
No,
so I fucking know he saw it.
We'll be steady, like 1 per week, if not more. We'll get videos out. That's the goal.
I want to get some segments.
What I want, I don't know how to do it. I want, if you're looking at the screen right now, I want me and you on the left side.
You're on the left.
Top bottom on the left side. And then that whole side is a rundown list of the topics that we're going to get to. So it'll be like Dalvin Cook released, New Year's it would be a nice checklist that you'll see. I don't know how to fucking do it. I Googled it.
We should just hire a college student. Pay him. Pay him some whatever.
We're making like $1 per video.
I'll pay him in alcohol. We'll find an underaged college student, and I'll just send him 30 racks of beer.
Well, we've had people offer, and there's been great people that offered to help us.
Hey, we should have that guy. What was his name?
Our schedule is so weird, though. We film at random times. You work late. I work late. We just kind of. That's why it's easy. I can drag this video, get it on YouTube in 5 minutes, make a thumbnail. Thumbnails I gotta get better at, by the way, too. But it's a convenient thing. And our goal isn't. Our goal right now isn't to get 50,000 views and we do it because we want to talk about the Jets and we have more fun on Twitter. We just want to make content, talk about the Jets, and we do this anyway, FaceTiming. So why don't we just record it and have 200 people watch it? That's the end goal.
That's true. Well, for now.
All right. For now, before we take over, Mike.
Oh, the Patriots game.
Yeah.
What do you want to happen?
Matt O'Leary put out a poll. I think it was 55% lose, 45% win.
Wow, I'm surprised. I thought it'd be more lose.
It's the Patriots. If it was like the Buccaneers, I think it'd be a lot different. And the streak and everything.
Even if I think it was the Bills or the Dolphins. I think, Matt, the problem is we lost 15 in a row to Belichick. Is he confirmed gone, by the way? Is he going to?
I think he's going to get traded.
So weird.
It's crazy that he's rumored to go to the Commanders. Like, if I'm the Chargers, I would give up a 1 and get him for 3 years and make him flip the defense around and then have a top 8 quarterback. Like, I think that would be the right play for him. But
with the Bears would be cool, but I don't know if he could do well with how he would do with Fields in that system. Look at him with when they had Cam.
I want to say I want them to win the game. And I understand the argument. I don't care if you pick 7 or 15. There's good players in the draft. You have to draft well. You have to hit on them. I kind of want one of the 2 tackles. And all I'll say, maybe I'm riding a fence here. If I look at it like this, Greg Zuerlein is kicking a ball to win the game from the 50-yard line. Call it the Commanders game. I don't think it matters 6 months from now if it hits the upright. I don't. And maybe you get the 7th pick, and then all the tackles are gone anyway, and you have a receiver. But I would lean that kick doesn't go in. Personally, right now, I could change up until game time. I also don't care. I watch the games numb when they're out of the playoffs, and it's a lot better. What about you? Want them to win?
Yeah, the Browns game is weird to watch. Listen, I don't know. I'm the most like anti-tank person ever. And even like today, Garrett Wilson, there was a Cimini article where it was like, Garrett Wilson doesn't know what's next after this contract. It's for reasons like that, but I don't think winning this game is going to change anything. 3 games left in the season is with the team that the Jets have is too many to just be like, let's lose 3 games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I think. But if you are playing one more game, we already again, the same thing with the Patriots thing. Like, if we win, okay, so now you're 1-15 in your last 16 games. Like, it still sucks. Like, you still feel like shit. It will only hurt us. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna be watching the game, hoping that good things happen and hoping that they win, technically. But then if they lose, I will not be upset this game, because again, I keep sitting here saying, can't lose. Like, fabric your team, which I believe, but also, my offseason plan is to get one of the top 2 tackles for Rodgers. So I can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
So,
No, I think we have the right mindset. And if you have any other mindset, more power to you. You can root however you want to root. We'll never call you a bad fan.
And real quick, if they win 40-0, fine. Like, that's good and fun and really good taste in your mouth to end the season, especially, again, like it's not like end of a season. What was the game? I think it was 2014 where they played the Titans. It was the Mariota game, the Mariota Bowl.
Yeah,
and the Jets won like stupid game, like 16-12. And the last play of that game,
Delaney Walker,
the tight end of the Titans, just looked like he was going to score on like a crazy last second like lateral play. And then DeJuan Landry on the Jets just comes out of nowhere and tackles him. And you're like, what the fuck? Because that team was a disaster. Like, you knew they were going to fire Rex. A lot of turnover, blah, blah, blah. Like, this team is not in that position. Although I hope they do as well as the team the next year. The 2015 Jets were good. But it's just, so if you win 40-0, you feel good. The players just hear blah, blah, blah. If they lose, it's probably better off.
Yeah.
Stupid Patriots.
It's a good point. I get it. And the one thing I'm kind of stressed about, if we're being honest, is the Key and Peele year-end review.
Oh,
I think I have a template. Sometimes I wait until the final game ends to post it. But then if you do that, it gets saturated because so many people are talking about the end of the year. So I almost want to post it tonight.
Oh, you have it ready?
I have the format down. The biggest problem I have is I have the good and the bad, like the dap ups versus the handshakes. I'm struggling with when they shake the baby's hand. You know how he's like, I want another one. I've historically done that with like Garrett Wilson. I'm trying to think of who should be that one where you want another one, like Joe Tippmann. That one's tough.
It probably has to be. You can't use McDonald yet.
Yep.
It could
And
always
then
be Sauce, but you probably have him somewhere else.
yeah, and then the handshake one is tough. Like who is like the like I
What does he shake the baby's hand?
yeah.
This kid is so good. I'm trying to think. I mean,
Maybe
it could
Zach
be
Wilson.
like
Maybe Zach.
Zach Wilson, Zach Kuntz, whatever his name is.
And then the other tough one is when he daps up what's his name? Michael Key. Like when he's like 1/8 black and he goes in late. Last year I did Robert Sala and I did like week 1 to week 7 versus like week 8 to week 7. I did like a good
You'll
one.
probably just leave it.
Oh man. I don't know yet.
You could do offensive line weeks 3 to 6, offensive line the rest of the year.
Could be that. I'll probably work on it tomorrow or do it tonight and post tomorrow. I definitely want to post before the final game. That'll be the plan. All right. We've done a half hour. Anything else before we wrap up?
Trying to think. Dalvin Cook. Yeah, that rundown list would be nice.
That's the goal. I YouTubed it. I Googled it. Mike, I can't figure it out.
Dude, listen, this week at some point, I am watching the 2010 Jets Patriots divisional round. If you want to watch with me and film it, you're more than welcome to, but I will be watching the 30-minute condensed version of that game.
I'd be down. We got to figure it out. Drink some beers.
Never die.
All right, Mike. I'll talk to you soon, buddy. Great app. If you are here to the end, DM us, subscribe, like, comment, and we'll be back. Mike, have a good one, buddy.
Oh, sorry.
What?
Jimmy Kimmel's a scumbag.